Hey, hey, kiddos, meet our newest piece. I'm so excited for this piece, not because it's a good piece of furniture. It's a terrible piece of furniture, and that's why I'm redoing it just for myself. So I want to do this terrible piece because we all have terrible pieces of furniture that fill a need in our home, and we don't want to go out and buy a new piece. So you can fix up this shit. And I'm going to teach you how to do it with style. I'm going to teach you how to cover up those imperfections. And I'm going to teach you how you can make this piece last as long as possible. But what's wrong with this piece, right? I mean, it looks kind of cute. The problem is it's not wood. It's made from fake wood, and that fake wood will break down. The corners on this were already crumbling. I filled them in with wood filler to get started. And because the surface is really shiny and it's just bubbly and weird and uneven, I'm making a texture medium. So I'm using Onyx here and Texture Magic. And I'm going to mix these two together so that I have a textured paint that will basically camouflage any of the inconsistencies, especially where I had to put a bunch of wood filler. The other reason I'm creating this texture is because I had planned to super shift this entire piece. And super shifters love a little texture. They love black. And that's why I started it this way. But that's not where I ended up going. But I still recommend this. If you have a shiny piece, think IKEA, right? What you want to fix up and make look a little bit more sophisticated, get some paint, texturize it, then repaint it. It's just going to smooth it out a bit and give it a little class. Now, as per my usual, halfway through a project, I think, what if? Right? What if? And I had this idea because I know a lot of you want to know how to use super shifters over walls. And it can be tricky to blend over a really large surface. So here it is. I grabbed a stencil and I'm going to see what happens if we put some texture through the stencil to help us create an effect using multiple colors of super shifters. So here's what I did. I always do this with my stencils. Put on a little Loctite. Any kind of spray adhesive is going to help you hold that stencil in place, especially if you are like me and you are single and you don't have anybody else in your studio who can hold that dang stencil in place. Now, spoiler alert, it didn't work. My trick didn't work. For whatever reason, the sticky would not stick to the textured paint at all. And this thing was so thick, I couldn't get... Anyway, it was a disaster, okay, you guys? But I still want to show you how to do it. I think this woodwork, oh, Tango Woodworks, okay, woodwork, okay, on a flat wall. But I'm going over a curved surface. I'm trying to use joint compound. I'm trying to push it through a stencil that's like, I swear to God, it's like a 1/4 inch thick. And it's not that thick. But anyway, I'm trying to go through here. And as you could probably guess, this is not going well. The idea is good. The implementation and outcome was not good. It actually doesn't look as bad here on the camera, but there was no real discernible pattern that I was going to be able to work with. So we're going to try again. I got a new stencil. Actually, it's an old stencil, and I'm trying this one out. It's a little bit thinner stencil, but I want to do something different because I always have to be extra. So I put it at an angle over a curved surface with like this thing that has like 5 doors. Y'all, this was dumb because I can't keep it up. I'm barely getting the pattern to come through cleanly. I'm not getting it thick enough because for this idea to work, it needs to be really thick. And I'm realizing, nope, we're axing this again. But third time's the charm, right? Right, it is 3. I think I'm losing track. I've decided to hold the stencil in a normal position. And what I'm doing is I'm applying it with a brush. The roller didn't work, it was too thin. I'm applying it with a brush and I'm kind of glopping it on, but I'm stippling it. Remember, stippling is just gentle stabbing, my friends. We want to get it all over and don't worry about it being thick. We're going for too much rather than not enough at this point because now we're going to sand it back. And this shit is dusty. Oh my God, I'm realizing right now that I need a mask on because this is joint compound. And it's everywhere. And I don't know that I would actually recommend using joint compound. This was an experiment. Remember, I try it so you don't have to. This did work. All right, I don't have a mask, so I'm using a towel. It is highly messy, and I think that I actually probably sell a better product than this from Miss Lillian's to create this high texture. But you know what? I wanted to try something new and just see if it worked. It did. And it's messy. So maybe you can find something even better. Now, when I did this the first time, I thought I was being so clever and I put the paint into the joint compound. But what that did is it made the joint compound gooey. It never fully dried hard. So this time I've learned to use the joint compound, sand it, and then go back and paint everything black again. I'm telling you guys, I make so many mistakes for you because I love you. This looks awesome, right? The black on black, but no, we're not stopping there. This is Atlas. This is one of my chrome super shifters. And I have not given her enough love. So this is her moment, you guys. This is her debut. So Atlas is a rich golden green. And because she's a chrome, chromes are opaque, which makes them just pop off the page. You can see that here. But they're also a little bit harder to blend over a wide surface. But hopefully you can see here that by adding the texture underneath and then putting the chromes on top, it's just masking. It's just hiding all the little imperfections that you can sometimes get with chromes. But the other thing you can do with chromes is wait overnight, buff them, and add another layer. And then you can get almost a solid wall of color. And here we are, kiddos, at the finale, the pièce de résistance. I am taking everything I learned by doing my sample boards and I'm applying it to this piece. Basically, because we've created the raised stencil, I'm realigning the stencil back up and then adding a variety of shifters. I tried out a few different colors and I landed on about 12 because I couldn't narrow it down. But they look like hydrangea petals to me. I don't know. I can't describe it any other way, except that I absolutely love it. I'm combining my original shifters, the super duper shifters, the Moody's, and yes, some of the chromes too. And really all I'm trying to do is make sure that it's a random pattern. And if I screw up and I put one right next to each other, I can just go over it. That's the beauty of the shifters. I'm not trying to really stay in the lines too much. I'm not even cleaning out my brush in between each dip into the pots of wax. I know that might horrify some of you, but I love it because that's what gives me even more color. Now, the last step, as always, is just to buff the wax. Take a dry, clean cloth, maybe cleaner than the one I'm using here, and just lightly buff. Rub against all the waxes until you see them start to really glisten. If it didn't pop before, it is popping now. I mean, look at that sparkle, you guys. Oh my God, this makes me so happy. So here we are. We've made it to the end of this amazing journey. Thank you guys so much for coming along with me. I hope you will give this a try. Use your own stencil, use your own piece, use your own colors. Just recreate it in any way that works for you. This is going in my house, in my entryway, and I'm so excited. And I'll post a picture of it when it's all in place. Have a great day, everybody.